I've been in crypto long enough now to have learned the ins and outs of how this industry works and how different it is from anything else the world has seen before, and this is coming from an ex-banker. From the countless mistakes and sleepless nights I've had over my journey, to cut you a very long story short, crypto is an entirely different beast to what people think it is when they first start. To give you some perspective on what I'm talking about here, for every single gray hair I have on my head, I've got a story relating back to crypto that follows it. However, after spending 7,000 hours researching in this space, I feel like I finally got things under enough of a control, and today, I plan on sharing with you my exact strategy for long-term crypto success. Now, just for a full disclaimer, this video is not being posted today because I feel like making a video on this topic suddenly, but I'm making it today because I don't want anyone moving into 2024 and 2025 without being as prepared as possible. So I figured if I show you what I'm doing, you might be able to steer your own ship in this general direction as well, hopefully preventing you from commenting underneath one of my future videos after the bull market saying how you didn't prepare and lost more money than you put in. So with that said, make sure you grab yourself a coffee, a pen, and some paper, and let me show you what I'm doing to create life-changing wealth in crypto. And just a quick reminder, guys, do not forget, if you enjoy the content at any stage or find what I say helpful and wanted to say a big thank you, hit the like button and subscribe so you achieve your crypto goals. Before we kick things off, I want to say, look, there's going to be about 99% of you that do either one of two things. You don't watch the video the whole way through, or you are someone who doesn't take the information on board. Now, I'm not making this long-ass 30-minute video for my personal pleasure. I'm making it to benefit you. So this is clearly something that I think is going to be really helpful for your success in crypto. And honestly speaking, guys, I would have paid thousands of dollars for this information as just a clear guide in terms of what you could call professional, or at least someone who spends all their waking life in the space is doing for success. This isn't your run-of-the-mill basic video. I'm going to try to cram as much as I can within it. So do what you want with the information. Again, that 1% that actually does absorb all of it, congratulations, because at the very end of the video as well, I'm going to drop a massive nugget that will help you cut down on the process significantly. Now, you can't watch the end without watching the bulk of it, so you can't skip ahead. I want to say before we get things kicked off, there's 3 things that will be covered in this video. First of all, is going to be looking at the buy or entry positions in terms of each altcoin. Very important to do. But what's even more important is the second step, which is actually planning an exit strategy out per altcoin. That and the entry level are by far the most important things. And the third thing is going to be looking at how to make passive income through the course of time with crypto as well. Don't sleep on that, because I'm telling you right now, the rewards are insane. Let's now begin with entries. Now, there's 2 clear rules in crypto I think everyone has. 1, I want to make as much money as possible. And 2, I want to stay as safe as possible to make those returns. But the common denominator here is, what are you actually trying to achieve? This is just a shot in the dark. You don't know what you're actually doing. You have to have some sort of goal. And this is going to come into practice with 2 different things here. Number 1, it's crucial because you can then find your entry levels and exit price if you actually have a clear goal in mind. You can find when you can begin buying and what your entry zone is. And number 2, you can actually figure out when you need to average exit, which we'll come back to have a look at the exit part of today's video. Without a clear goal, you're shooting blind. You don't know if you want to get a 30x or a 40x, or if you need a 50x to achieve your bombastic goals. You need to actually be realistic here, guys. Maybe, hell, you might even need only a 10x. And you're shooting for a 30x, you're buying risky projects, you're throwing the whole principle of a 10x out the window, or again, your goals, if you begin trying to overachieve. So what about you? What are you trying to do? Are you looking to retire? If so, how much money do you need? Or are you looking to buy a new house? If so, how much do you need? Again, another situation, maybe you're trying to make a crazy ex jealous. Again, how much money do you need? You have to do this for everything I know and love in life. If you're going to skip anything in this video, don't skip this. Do not skip this, because you will shoot blind whether you take my other information on board or not. So personally speaking, I'm going to give you an example here. My goal with crypto is, this is how I worked it out. Number 1, I want to own enough property to achieve a yearly income of a minimum $80,000. I can sit back, relax, and enjoy, watch movies all day and make $80,000 profit every single year. So I need $2.3 million just to buy 4 properties, okay? Number 2, allocate another $100,000 to $200,000 back in crypto for 2030. Okay, Number 3, what people don't consider is tax. Let's throw 25% on board. I've got a whole video explaining this, by the way. Not going to go over it today. And so therefore, I need about $2.8 million. Now, I have invested $100,000 in crypto, excluding DCA. That's my main pot of cash I've invested. Therefore, to achieve that, I need a 28x. Therefore, my goal in my mind becomes a 28x. Matter of fact, I would like a 30x, but it can be between a 25 to 30x. Now, we have a clear goal on what we need to do. So to actually find these entry levels, we can do many different things. I've seen many YouTubers, tell people different things, and I disagree with most of them, okay? So one person in particular said that, hey, what we should do is look at the fear and greed index, okay? In this case, we're at 65, and come into the chart and just buy when the fear and greed is low, bad, and sell when it's green, when it's high, okay? That totally makes sense in theory, right? Buy low, sell high. I think anyone can agree on that. However, it's not always going to be a clear-cut day. Yes, you can look at this and go, okay, well, down at, fear and greed index score of 10, 15, definitely look to buy. Again, when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own, you should be buying. That is going against the grain. You naturally feel inclined to, green is good, green is buy, red is bad, sell. Oh my God, market's going to go down and forever I'm going to die and crash. No, okay? It's the complete opposite of that. But green as well, you can say, well, green sell, but when? Crypto isn't something you can just put a massive blanket over it and just apply this to all your altcoins. Maybe Bitcoin, but not your altcoins. You have to look on the individual level, like we can see with Near Protocol here. I've seen people also say, hey, go look at the bear market and just plot out basically the average channel in which the project was trading over the last 12 months, give or take. And for Near Protocol, you'd be anywhere between obviously the lowest price of 90 cents right up to $1.85. Okay, I'm just going to buy between those levels. But again, how do you know if you need a $1.80 or if you need a $1 price to achieve your goal? Now, again, my goal here is the 28x, realistically speaking. So what we're going to have to do in this case to find the actual individual levels for your projects is, for example, come to TradingView, go to somewhere where you can actually plot lines and stuff on your charts, and then go to my price prediction sheet here. Now, I'm not going to go over this price prediction sheet. Basically, here's all the working out how we come to these levels. I put no input myself into this. This is all running off data. You'll find your project, Near Protocol. You guys probably can't quite see that. Near Protocol over here, slide all the way across, and you can see the price target here was $34, right? So a 15x from when the price was when I made the sheet. So $35 is basically what I'm going to target here. So I've marked up $35, as you can see. The rule of thumb is always move down 25% from this very top, because this top is the max best Mickey Mouse world situation in which you can actually realistically get out at. But what we do in crypto to be the safest we possibly can is to set sell orders up above and underneath the actual level we need to sell out of. So what we do in this case is be as safe as possible, move down 25% to give us some wiggle room just in case we do have to have some sell levels above the actual price. Again, if we had these over above the $35, that's getting borderline impossible territory. It could be possible, but again, we want as safe as possible. So in this case, again, what we're going to do is move down 25%, and now $26 becomes our actual realistic sell price. So what we do to find our entry levels here is very simply come over to this tool, as you can see here. You can't quite see, I will move my screen. Come down to price range, and then you'll want to zoom right into the current price and just mark up a little bit here, okay? Scroll back out, then mark way back up to the $26 level. And this now is the multiples in which you can achieve to get that goal, right? So that is a 579%, which actually is a 6.5x, basically almost teetering on a 7x, okay? Because 500% is a 6x, if you didn't know that. So in this case, that's not too much. That is not too much from the current price. We are heavily inflated. So then what you can do is two things. One, say bye-bye Near Protocol. This is way too far gone for me to buy into. Again, I'm looking for a 28x. It's as simple, be a robot. If it's too expensive, you can't get in, you missed the boat, find another altcoin. This is where a big problem comes up with many people, because they just keep buying because they think, oh my God, it's a good price. It's still low. It's going to go to $35. Simple maths. As you can see, it's simply going to be a 7x. Like, that is not much considering you want a 28x. So in the case that you still want to buy Near Protocol, what you can do here is decide to move down and find a level in which you want to buy at. Okay, so you can see I'm coming down here to $2 right about here, which then becomes a 1,200% gain or a 13x. Now let's pretend, okay, a 13x is what we wanted, or even in a better case, let's pretend we only want a 10x. we can do two things. We can come back up to a 10x, right, which is 900%, and we can sell out again at this max level over here of $26. But again, $26 is actually quite ridiculous because again, that's the max realistic level we can actually sell at. So what we do is we come down, probably down to a level in which we can achieve for Near Protocol here. Let's say it is $1.80, and we'll come back up to the max level over here. We will bring this way down to find the 900% level, and we'll stop it right there. That's a 10x. So what we're saying is we are actually going to be ladder selling out at an average of $18, as you can see right there, and we'll need to begin dollar cost averaging at $1.80, okay? And this now becomes our buy zone. We can buy any level beneath this, it just becomes better for us, but we do not buy any higher than this either. So I've done that for every single one of my cryptocurrencies, and yes, it is tedious, but yes, you will be able to go, okay, the one I was looking at in this case is far and truly too gone for what I'm looking for in terms of my goals and multiples, and then you can switch to find another one that might actually be at the level or near a level in which you can begin buying to achieve that goal. Again, remember, we want to bring the max realistic level down as much as we can to be as safe as possible, whilst always maintaining a level to begin dollar cost averaging that is realistic. We don't want to go too low because it may never actually come and then we're stuck waiting. Now, you might want to do this for many altcoins. In that way, you can say, well, hey, if one falls down in price, this will be the one I begin dollar cost averaging into, because you might have 3 or 4 that will never actually hit. So with that being said, let's now have a look at the exit plan, okay? This is probably one I've touched more on the channel. And I want to say, shameless plug, if you are someone that watches this video and you do want a deep dive breakdown, I will say right now, the best decision you can actually make per cost is going to be buying my course on this. It's $149. It goes for 2.5 hours, nice and short, to the point and sweet, and you'll get all the information you possibly need to know and more on how to do this yourself. Very important, but I get it. Not everyone wants to spend a little bit of money on this. If you don't, another really good video I made recently was this one over here, 25-minute video. This simple crypto plan will make millionaires. It has the full exit breakdown, everything I'll touch on this, and of course, a lot more. So the thing about exits, right, is that, again, just like I said before in, finding the entry levels, is that a lot of people in this space are very misconstrued upon when to sell their altcoins. Altcoins, just like there is not just one good time to buy, is never this one good time to sell. They all happen individually, and we have to recognize in real time whether it is a good time to sell or not. Hence, why I've got my private community starting up in a few days here. We will have all of this being tracked in real time. We can know exactly what's popping off and when. Now, what I'm talking about here is narratives. Narratives are what underpin a growth of a project. So we can see here, these are different narratives: IoT, Oracle, gaming, DeFi, interoperability, storage, privacy. This is basically what a project is most known for and therefore will appreciate in price from. So DeFi, Aave, Maker, Cake, Uniswap, Compound, all these projects, as you can see represented here, popped off, went up the most at the same time. It's all from the narrative. They might have other peaks with the general market, they all might go up, but you'll find across every single altcoin, they 99% of the time will all go up the most in that particular narrative pump. Storage, all these projects pump at the same time. Now, as you can see here in orange, this is Bitcoin's peak over here, right? Bitcoin peaked over here, but yet storage projects were way down here. And compare that to their peaks. If you were someone holding, for example, Ocean Protocol, you would have literally been holding your bags hoping, oh, Bitcoin's at its all-time high. Why isn't Ocean Protocol at its all-time high? It's not, because you missed the actual narrative pump over here. So in a sell, you can kind of say, well, the best time to sell is actually selling within the narrative pump. And I would agree. Yes, it's the most explosive gains you can possibly find in an altcoin. However, this isn't what you want to rely on. You want to actually go ahead and find sell levels for each of these projects, because whether we have a massive pump or not, if you get out at the first, let's just say 50, 60% of the pump, and you miss out on the other 40 or 50%, that's okay, because you're getting out at, well, we're going to see in a second here, predetermined levels. You know exactly how much money you're making to achieve, again, way back to your goal. It always comes back to achieving your goal. The goal here is to assess this, to create something in which you have these sell levels set at. Again, you will notice looks very similar to what I was showing you with Near Protocol over here as well. This was actually an extract from my course on the exit plan, which I showed you about over here. So the goal is to find these sell levels. So the dotted purple lines and this green line down here is the sell levels, in which you can see a dollar amount associated. This dollar amount is important because we want to have sell levels in place so that we can just simply say, hey, as long as we follow these sell levels, and going as far as to even setting up these sell levels on an exchange, which I'm going to show you here in a moment, it's all very easy. You just sit back, again, relax, sip on your damn coffee, and you're going to make money, right? People are going to question you, hey man, how are you so relaxed right now? Market's up, market's down, why aren't you freaking out? You're like, dude, I've done it all, I've worked it out, okay? So a big part of setting up sell levels, again, I'm going to give you a cheat code in a minute here, comes down to finding the levels themselves, and it's throwing spaghetti at the wall, guys. Highly, again, recommend watching this video for those of you who want more information on this, but we have to actually look at weighted average. A lot of people get this wrong. People just go, I'm going to sell a little bit higher than, for example, again, near protocol, than this level over here. I'm just going to sell some levels a little bit higher, sell some a bit lower, average out at this level, Bob's your uncle. But they're forgetting that the higher you go above that level becomes riskier. Riskier and riskier every single cent. So the idea here is to use weighted averages to figure out, like over here with HBAR, we actually found out that if we wanted to sell at an average of $1, we can sell at these levels beneath it and our last level at $1 to actually achieve the $1 mark itself, right? We're selling at 65 cents way up to $1, and yet we're achieving an average sell of $1. You don't have to sell above if you understand what weighted average is. And all this fundamentally is just moving the percentages of your portfolio you sell out at each level. Now, I want to say I deeply apologize for not explaining this in actual terms in this video. It unfortunately will go for about 20 minutes if I do. This is one of those things that go down a bit of a rabbit hole. So I will most definitely have to get you to watch this video. I know, I get it. I will leave the link down below. And because again, that's a 25-minute video just going on this topic itself. So it's just for your brevity's sake, for those who want to understand this more. But I just want to say I've done this for every single one of my altcoins. I have all my levels set out at on an exchange. They will be met once those prices are met. And again, I simply know at each level how much money I make, so everything is done for me. I can see my goal already, just needs to happen. Now, before we get into the real cheat codes here in a minute, let's talk about staking and why it's so important to earn passive income over the course of your crypto journey. The difference, first of all, between not staking and staking is dramatic, especially if your project has inflationary rewards, right? So basically they emit tokens and there is an inflation. So in this case, the same situation plays out, right? We have 20,000 tokens, and this person over here that doesn't stake but has inflation of 7% decides, hey, I'm looking for $13 as my level. I want my 26x out. I want $260,000 in revenue. Well, they don't factor, of course, in inflation. Now, they in their mind thinking, I want $13 as my exit level. So in this case, in reality, because of inflation, the actual level that the project will go to, given the fact that the market cap will be the same in the future between these two expected points, is $11.36. That is all due to inflation. So what this effectively means is this poor person, which will likely be a lot of you if you don't think about this, is expecting $13, but in reality, that demand will still come. There might be a 20x in demand, but because of inflation, the demand in reality will actually bring out a $11.36 token. So you may be still expecting that $13, so you may never really sell. In this case, you are forever holding your crypto bags. Happens a lot. Even if you have sell orders levels in place, you may achieve some, but the main bulk will be excluded, right? You won't actually have those tokens. Whereas if you do stake, you get an additional bonus here of two different things. First of all, you can actually achieve the goal of 260K at a cheaper level. Matter of fact, 22% cheaper. You can actually get this results with a $10 token, which is just insane. So you don't have to 26x, you only have to 20x. And the second thing is, if you wanted to achieve more, you could actually likely sell your tokens over here at the $11.36 level and have about $300,000. So you're getting that result still, but you're getting more money, again, because you are staking over time. Like this person in this case, stakes for 13%, gains a 6% per year bonus on top of inflation, and in this case, it's 25,000 tokens. I've staked these 4 projects in particular here, and over the last month, I've earned 3,000 from Casper, 1,200 from HBAR being the lowest by far, Mina 8,400, and Near Protocol 1,500. So I've earned well and truly over 10,000 US dollars over the last month of just staking. Yes, this isn't, of course, how much money I have earned right now. This, of course, takes into consideration future price. In reality, right now, it's probably worth like maybe $500 to $1,000. So not that much right now, but of course, again, we aren't selling now, we're selling in the future. So here's one more thing I thought was very important to mention: compounding. You want to compound your rewards in this case. So if you stake, you want to get those rewards back on top of your existing amount, because if you compound daily, you can turn 10,000 tokens with a 10% APY into 11,052 tokens over the course of 12 months. So you are getting $36,000 in profit. However, if you decide to compound still, but on a less frequent basis, so every month you put that money you make back into your total, you actually make less. You make $11,047, so you make $175 less instead of doing it daily. What does this mean? Well, it makes more sense. If you're someone who gets the money you make in crypto and you put it back onto your total, your percentage, in this case 10%, is looking at that new total and applying the 10% from that new total. So every time you pretty much get rewards back into your altcoins, put that back onto your pot straight away. If you do it monthly, you're going to get less. If you do it yearly, well, of course, in that case, you're not going to get that huge bonus reward. You're only going to get it in the next year. And in this case, the difference between these two, of course, doesn't really matter. It's very negligible, $175, but it definitely makes a difference when you decide to take your profits from staking out, because if you just want to take your profits out and turn it into cash and hold your cash, you'll actually only make $35,000 from the passive rewards rather than that compound effect of the additional $1,600. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Kyron, where do I stake? Well, staking is effectively delegating. It's the same term. Delegating means you're giving your tokens over, you're delegating to a particular node, but staking is a more inclusive term, okay? So in this case, this was coming out of one of my courses. If you decide to stake with what typically is an exchange or a third party, like a sort of protocol that allows you to stake your tokens with them, what you're doing is staking your tokens to them. These guys are running their own validator on the network and they're getting the returns from the network. They're coming back and giving that to you, but they're taking a cut. So what this effectively does is, and why this is bad, is two ways. One, you're taking a less return, even though you're staking through them. And two, you're actually making it a more risky game because you're staking with a third party. In this case, if the third party, let's just say Binance, was to crash, go down for some reason, it's adding insult to injury because the network still remains. You could still have your tokens, but Binance has shut down, therefore your tokens are frozen or gone. In this case, if you delegate directly to a validator through the network, which is what I do, you of course choose a validator, they get the returns from the network, so you're effectively cutting out the middleman, which is screwing you over in more ways than you might actually think. This is why I always tell people, do it this way. Far better for you. So what is it? What is the cheat code I have been talking about? Well, believe it or not, it's got to do with exit plans. This will save you countless hours per damn project. So this is pretty much a copy and paste prompt that you can paste in a chat GPT that I have used, vetted, and actually made sure it definitely works over the course of time. It's simple. All you do is just literally get this prompt, copy it from this sheet, I'll leave it down below, paste it into your own sheet, change the little red areas in which I've told you exactly what you have to paste in here, and then just paste that into GPT. Now, there's the first prompt you want to use here. There's a little sort of, I guess, prompt, if you will, to tell you what to do from there. And then little sort of configurations you can do. Two configurations that will allow you to mold GPT responses to suit your personal needs per project. Everyone is slightly different, so this is going to fit most of your needs. And it kind of looks like this. This is my example here. Once it's all boiled down, you want to paste this one in first, hit enter, see the response, and then use one of these two or both, depending on what it gives you, okay? So follow this, and it will give you a whole bunch of numbers I can show you here, right? So this is basically one of my responses after putting in a few of those prompts, and we can see a letter sell price here for that example with HBAR at 50 cents, going up to $1.50. Again, that was my target. And as you can see, we're actually selling our tokens evenly split between these levels. And if we're aiming for $1.50, we can actually finish selling at $1.50 and at 6 different levels. So very important, play around with it, use it, and then what you'd pretty much do is take these levels, how many tokens are being sold at those levels, put it all into whatever exchange you're using, and Bob's your uncle. So that being said, thank you all for watching this video. Again, all links will be down below. I really hope you have appreciated the time I've taken to outline my plan for success with you all. And again, use it, don't use it, not financially, up to you. If you've made it this far, I would really love a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new around here, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Take good care.